Inside the TW-8100-ODKT, we have a 4x4x2 marine grade box with a 10-foot section of 18 gauge 2-conductor outdoor cable. The whip, two gel-filled beanies, a warning label, and the instructions. So we've got our box mounted, and we chose a position to where the cable comes down directly over the line set that is going to the air conditioner. I like to wrap the cable around the line set that's going down to the air conditioner, as you can see. On this air conditioner, we had to take off the access panel in order to get to the service valves and to route our wire inside the unit. See where our wire port is here? We went in with the thermostat wire, and we have this smaller diameter tube right here, which is the high side. That's the side that the whip connects to, and this larger diameter tube here is the low pressure side. Simply remove the cap from the high pressure service valve. Make sure there's no rubber gasket left on there. Sometimes the rubber gasket will stick to the end of the service valve. We're going to put a small amount of leak lock, a very small amount, on the threads of the high side service valve. Now, before we connect the whip to the service valve, we're going to go ahead and strip the wires back that we need. In this instance, we're going to be using a wireless transmitter that uses a 2.2K end-of-line resistor. So I'm going to use blue, which is my common. I'm going to strip that back. And red, which is for 2.2K. And strip that back. Here's the wiring chart for the whip. Now we're going to screw the whip onto the high side service valve so that we can test our leads with the meter. Once you've tightened it down, you do not want to swivel it back and forth because it can tear up the rubber gasket that's on the inside of the charging head. Also, I want to remind you, do not use any tools to tighten the whip. If you use tools, it'll void the warranty. This is made to finger tighten only. Now, before making the final connection to the whip, you need to meter your wire leads to make sure that you do have the resistance that you need for your transmitter or your control panel. Now that we've tested to make sure that we had 2.2K while the whip was connected to the high side service valve, we disconnected the whip to make our wiring connections and insulate them with the gel-filled wire connectors. And now we're going to use the rubber splicing tape to insulate all of our wires. This rubber splicing tape is really good for outdoor connections. It's not really sticky like you would expect a tape to be. You just peel off the white backing just like this. And when you're wrapping it around the wires, you stretch it. It bonds to itself. It makes a great outdoor seal for wire connections. That's what it looks like when you're finished. Now everything's connected, our alarm's been programmed, and we're ready to test the whip to make sure that it actually will initiate an alarm. upon loss of pressure. The way that we do this is just disconnect the whip from the test port. So disconnect it to activate the alarm and screw it back on. Now that we've tested the alarm system and we know that that works, before we leave the installation site, we need to test by using the gas leak detector, and I'll show you how that works. It's a bubble type detector, so if there are any leaks, that it will cause a bubbling. The small leaks will present themselves by foaming over a period of several minutes. And put it over all the connection points so that they're covered, so that if there is a leak, we'll be able to see it bubble up. There's no immediate bubbles, so what we're going to do is we're going to let that settle in. We'll wait a few minutes. I'm going to put a little bit more on. And we'll let that sit for a few minutes. Okay, we're back, and we don't appear to have any kind of foaming action in there anywhere. So looks like the installation is good. We'll close the access panel, install the warning decal, and go home. Alright, so we got the access panel back on. The part number for the leak lock is LL113, and the gas leak detector is GLD8. The Whip TW-8100 air conditioner theft detection device.